So a little bit of my journey, how I went from making $50 a day to $50 an hour. Yeah, it sounds like a huge jump, right? But it's totally realistic and it's totally achievable. I did it like from when I was like 18 to maybe 20 or even before that. If I can do it at 18 and 20, anyone can do it. I am no special than you. We are just reflections of one another, and I feel like if I express my story, then somebody can gain something out of this. Just resharing a story, and it's cool to have something to look back at and remember my journey of working jobs. So let's try and I gotta think about my past. So give me a second here. Well, let's start off with graduating high school. Remember the day I graduated high school, every kid around me knew what they were going to do. They had their 4-year plan set. They knew what college, what university, what thing they were going to study. And me, on the other hand, I didn't decide to go to school, continue schooling. I didn't want to fall down that road. So I thought I just had so much more free time. The fact that I didn't have to go to school the next day at 7:30, I didn't have to wake up and put an alarm the next day. I was like, I thought it was just free. I never felt so free. That feeling didn't really last long though. My parents were like peer pressuring me into getting a job. You know, I can't stay home all day and do nothing. You know, if you're not gonna go to school, you gotta get a job, they told me. Which, don't blame them for doing that. Started working with my mom. She has a cleaning business and I helped her out for a few days, but that wasn't my thing. So I left that really quickly and I went over with my dad. He had a construction business. He has a team that, you know, remodels and constructs homes. And the idea of just doing construction, it seems more like a manly thing to do, right? It's more attractive, I guess, to a male. So I did that for a few days. I think I did that for a good week. And you know, once you start getting paid $200, $300 a week, I've never made that much money, but when you receive the money in your hand, you know, you sort of value it, especially when you work hard for it, when you put in all your efforts. And you know, as a construction laborer, you know, it's a lot of efforts because construction, it's hard work. So I was doing that job fresh out of high school. I worked in construction for quite a bit. I started getting used to the money. The first few months I wasn't really learning much. I was more of a laborer, so it wasn't until the later months when I started getting more handsy and more familiar with the plumbing work and the electrical work and the framing and the inside and outs, you know, what the tools were, getting more familiar with the power tools. And you know, it took a few months and this was just a routine to go to work every day and a feeling to, you know, receive paycheck after the end of every week. But it wasn't like a year in, I started getting tired and just drained from that job too much, where I started parting ways and I decided to just sell fruit. Like, if you guys know me, I eat a lot of fruit and I go to a wholesaler in Philly and I get my fruit from there. You can get like boxes of fruit for just a few dollars and you can resell them for, you know, profit, decent profit. So I decided I'd stop the construction job for a bit and I started selling fruit just to have more time. I just want to have more time. I didn't want to work all day and lose all my time of daylight working a job. And so with this fruit selling thing, you know, I drive around the neighborhood. I buy a bunch of fruit. I take pictures of it, promote the fruit, post it on Facebook and Instagram. A lot of my friends would contact me and they'd be like, hey, I want some fruit. You know, they make a list. They would make a list for me. I'd bag up the fruit. I'd drive it to their house. And I would drive around maybe like for 3 hours a day, make around $100 for 3 hours. This was my first taste of making more money working for yourself. If I could make $100 in 3 hours, what was I doing working 8 hours for $50, I thought. And so I kept this up. I kept it up for maybe 2 weeks around so. And my only customers were really just friends from high school and Facebook and Instagram. And so it was limited. It didn't last long. So what I did was I'd go back to work with my dad, back to the same old routine. And it wasn't very long until he mentioned that one of his friends were looking for a carpet installer worker, like a carpet worker. They install carpets and they need a worker. And I just decided to go for it. Why not? They were gonna pay me 80 bucks instead of 50, and I thought this was a deal. You know, 30 bucks more a day, that's $150 more a week, 600 more a month. So I decided to go for it. And the hours were ridiculously much longer. I had to leave the house around 6 and I wouldn't get back until like 8, sometimes like 7 or 8. But it was easier work, to be honest. And I learned the skill pretty fast, you know, the skill to install carpet pretty fast. And working a month in the carpet business, the carpet job, you get to see things repetitively over and over again, and so your mind, like, you sort of catch on pretty quickly. And it wasn't 1 month in when my uncle, who I didn't mention, but he's also into real estate, and at that time he had just finished like this big multi-apartment building, and he was looking for somebody to install carpet. And my dad suggested I do it because I was installing carpet, but I wasn't confident enough to say I could do it. He asked me, you know, you think you can do this job? It's a big job. In my mind, I'm like thinking, yeah, it's a big job, but in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not confident enough. I don't know how to do it fully yet. If you give me a few weeks, maybe then I could learn all the way. But instantly, I just said pretty much, yeah, I can do it. I decided to go for it. And instantly, like that, like you just made a deal, and now you're responsible to install carpet in a 5-apartment building. And I had no tools. I had no idea how to install carpets in the steps or in the hallways. I was like, how am I gonna finish this? I went to Home Depot, and I remember buying a bunch of tools, spending like hundreds of dollars in tools, thinking, like, hoping everything would go right and that this was the right investment. I remember calling up one of my old co-workers who I installed carpet with and having him help me because I couldn't have done it myself at that time. I didn't know how to do it yet. But you fake it till you make it. You know, I pretty much pretended to my uncle that, yeah, I told him I could do it, I could confidently do it, but in reality, I didn't really know. But I fake it till I make it. Me and my friend, my co-worker, I hired him for a day, and we banged out like the majority of the house in one day. The next day I stayed till night to just finish everything and retouch everything, make sure everything was done correctly. And my uncle came inside and he walked around and he double checked every floor and room and the corners, and you know, he would like tap with his feet, make sure there was no air bubbles. And I'm just standing there like quiet, looking around, like hoping everything's okay. I gotta burp a lot. He's like, very good job. It looks good. I'm surprised. Handed me a check for $2,200. $2,200? $2,200. That's a crazy amount. I mean, I was like, wow, $2,200 in 2 days. Now, mind you, this wasn't pure profit. Maybe I profited around $1,000, but even then, $1,000 in 2 days, that's $500 a day divided into 8. That's more than $50 an hour. How do I go from $50 a day to $50 an hour in a span of 2-3 months? Who knows, around that time? How? And it's totally achievable. You know, we all are working jobs that we are good at. We are working in fields that we are experts in. What do you work right now? Hopefully it's something that you're somewhat interested, because if you are, then you can take that knowledge, that experience in your field and use it for your own good and start your own business and start working for yourself. If you design websites for a company and they pay you $10 an hour to do it, you can look for clients on your own and then charge somebody not $10 an hour to customize a website for them, but the actual original price. Your boss is making money out of your work, and when there's no middleman involved, your pay is so much higher. And so if I can go from being a carpet installer to a carpet self-employer in just pretty much a month or two and multiply my income by crazy amounts, then I can do it with the construction and the handyman stuff. So I started creating these business cards and flyers and handing them out to my mom's clients and people around me in the neighborhood, and I'd get like random calls to like do some odd jobs in people's houses, and you know, like to change a faucet, for example. Like to change a faucet like that, it cost, you could charge easily like $80, right? And the time to change a faucet, it's like 30-45 minutes. Bam, just like that, you just made $80 in under an hour. Instead of working for $8 an hour, 10 extra income, literally 10 extra income. And you know, it's a beautiful thing when you are working for yourself, when you know that all the efforts that are going to go, that you are putting out, are going to benefit you. They're not going through some middleman boss that's going to take like half of your paycheck. You're getting what the value that you put forth. You know, people get paid for value because the homeowners don't know how to change a faucet, so they're willing to pay somebody to change the faucet because it's leaking and they need to wash dishes. And no one in the house knows how to do it, so they're willing to pay $80 an hour or $80 per job, you know. It's so focus more on value, because you get paid for value that you bring. And this doesn't necessarily have to be done through any handyman work or, you know, plumbing or electrical work or anything like that. You can bring value through, like, what do you work in your job right now that you can bring value to other people? Options are endless. I mean, we live in America, right? The land of rich, the land of opportunities. And yet there's so many people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, even 70s, still working for the hour, still working for minimum wage, still working for less than like $20 an hour. How can that be? People are just so financially literate. You know, in schools, they don't really teach us how to work for ourselves. They prepare us to be employees and work for others. But I feel like I'm such a bad employee. I'm a horrible employee at it. I think I don't like I don't like the idea of working for others. They say you can work for yourself. Like they say you can work a job, and yeah, that's okay, you can do that, you can help yourself, but you won't really be helping yourself, you'll be helping somebody else. You're building somebody else's dreams and not yours. When you work a job all day for somebody else and you come home tired, drained of precious energy that could have gone towards building your own business, could have gone towards building your own fortune and dreams and ambitions. But yet you sold it for a paycheck. You know, you're selling your time for money. Do you value your time more than money, or do you value money more than time? Time is simply, it should be obvious, it's way more valuable than money. Time is limited, money isn't. Money, companies can lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in days and gain it back the next few days. With money, you can't. You take a 2-hour nap, you take a 30-minute nap, you wake up and you can't go back in time and gain those minutes, those hours back. So time is constantly depleting. It's always shortening. It's a limited resource. While money isn't. People print money, for God's sake. So the point is, time is more valuable. You get paid for the value that you bring, not for the hour. There's different sorts of income. There's active income where you get paid for the hour. You have to physically be present. There's residual income. There's passive income where you can set up a business and get paid for the efforts and establish the business and have it run on its own, and you don't even have to like be presently there, but you will still make money out of it. That's how you expand if you want to make money. But the goal is not to make a bunch of money. The goal is to be financially free. The numbers aren't even going to be as high. Like your dream life, a lot of people think like, I need $1 million to live my dream life. Your dream life is achievable with way less. Calculate the expense of a car you always want to drive, the rent you want to pay for a house that you want to live on, the food that you want to eat. Calculate that. You come up with a number of the expenses that you spend in a month. And it's not much. It's so achievable. I am pretty happy to say, and I'm blessed to say, that I'm living my dream life. Like, it sounds so cliche, but it's true. I mean, I'm freaking in Hawaii, eating a bunch of fruit, hanging out with people that inspire me, helping out, living with people that, inspired me to live this life, move out here in the first place. In sunny Hawaii, and it's always sunny away from the cold. Why am I, out of all my friends that I graduated high school with, why am I the only one that is living this way? I know we all have different meanings of success, but to see the path that some people are going in, it's not really a path of any good. They're just going to get trapped in their own mindless decisions, following society standards that they have to go to school. I don't see many people doing what I do, and this is why I'm making this video. You don't gotta follow the status quo. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to get a degree to make money. I'm making more money right now than somebody who graduated from college. A lot of people that graduated from college I know of are still working a job, like a minimum wage job. And my quality of life has improved so much after leaving Philly. I am really blessed, man. I've been blessed. Man, I think a lot of it has to do with the food I've been eating. I've just been eating so clean recently. And I think when you're in a clean body, and a clean mind, and clean state, you can manifest things so quickly. And that's also part of why I multiplied my income, because I visualized becoming my own boss. I made it a goal of mine. I would write it down. And that's another one too. Anyways, I think this video is going on for long enough. If you guys, hopefully you guys get something out of this. I know I went off the whole money thing, but if you guys like this content, let me know what you want me to talk about next, because I definitely do want to get more involved into making videos. I know I keep saying this, I just keep getting off track. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure to follow me. This is where I post most of my stuff, but definitely gonna make it a goal of mine to stay more active on YouTube and make longer videos like this. So see you guys